Starting is one battle, staying is the real war. Because most people don't quit before they begin. They quit 5 minutes in. You start the task, you sit down. You open the dock, you begin studying. You start the workout, and then it hits. Discomfort, boredom, restlessness, confusion. That itchy feeling like you need to escape. So your brain offers the usual exits. Check your phone. Just take a quick break. Let's do something easier first. This is too much right now. We'll come back later. And later never comes. This is the moment that kills consistency. Not the lack of plans. Not the lack of goals. This moment. High performers don't avoid this moment. They train for it. They have a skill that keeps them in the work long enough for focus to stabilize. Urge surfing. It sounds weird, but the idea is simple. An urge is a wave. If you don't feed it, it rises, peaks, and falls. And if you can ride the wave instead of obeying it, your focus becomes stronger fast. In this video, I'll break down the 5 reasons discomfort makes you quit early, what urges actually are, and the exact urge surfing method that helps you stay through friction without needing motivation. Chapter 1. Your brain mistakes discomfort for danger. Discomfort feels like something is wrong. That's why it works. Your brain evolved to treat uncomfortable signals as warnings. But modern discomfort is often not danger. It's effort, it's uncertainty. It's delayed reward, it's boredom, it's cognitive load. It's the brain shifting from easy stimulation to hard focus. None of that is life-threatening. But your nervous system doesn't care about logic in the moment. It cares about signal. So when you feel friction, your brain tries to protect you by escaping. This is why people say, "I just couldn't focus today." Often what they mean is, "I felt discomfort and treated it like a stop sign." High performers treat discomfort differently. They don't interpret it as a stop sign. They interpret it as a threshold. A sign that the work is finally doing what it's supposed to do. Because real training usually feels uncomfortable at first. If it felt comfortable, you might just be consuming, not building. So the first skill is relabeling discomfort as not failure. It's the doorway to depth. Chapter 2.
The urge is not you. It's a chemical prediction.
When you feel the urge to check your phone, switch tasks, snack, or quit, it feels personal, like you want it. But urges are often automatic reward predictions. Your brain has learned a loop. Friction happens to escape to relief. So when friction appears, the brain predicts relief and creates a push toward the escape behavior. That pushes the urge. It's not proof you need the thing. It's proof your brain expects a reward there. That's why urges can be intense even when the behavior is stupid. You're not craving the action itself. You're craving the relief, and relief is powerful reinforcement. So, if you want to build consistency, you have to break the friction to escape loop. Not with willpower brute force, with skill. Urge surfing is that skill. It teaches your brain friction does not always lead to escape. I can stay, I can survive the wave, and the urge will pass. That retrains the loop. Chapter 3. The first 10 minutes are a withdrawal phase. This is the most important performance truth most people ignore. The beginning of a hard task often feels worse than the middle. Why? Because your brain is adjusting reward expectations. You're moving from high stimulation to low stimulation, from novelty to repetition, from easy dopamine to delayed payoff. So the first minutes can feel like withdrawal. Not clinical addiction, behavioral conditioning. Your brain is basically saying, where's the quick reward? If you give it one, a scroll, a check, a snack, you reset the clock. You restart the craving cycle. You teach the brain to demand escape again. But if you stay through that early phase, something changes. The urge peaks and fades. Focus stabilizes. The work becomes clearer. Momentum kicks in. This is why people often say, once I get going, I'm fine. Exactly. The problem is they never stay long enough to get going. High performers don't rely on luck to pass the first phase. They train to survive it. Chapter 4. Urge surfing works because urges always have a peak. Here's a fact that can change your life. Urges don't rise forever. They peak, then they fall. They feel permanent because you usually obey them quickly, so you never see the full wave. You don't know what happens if you don't feed it. Urge surfing is simply staying long enough to watch the wave complete. When you don't obey, your brain learns this signal is not a command. I can tolerate this. I don't die from boredom. I don't die from uncertainty. That might sound dramatic, but your brain treats discomfort like threat. So you have to give it evidence. Evidence comes from staying. And staying becomes easier every time you successfully ride a wave. This is why urge surfing compounds. One rep doesn't transform you, but repeated reps change the default response to friction. You become someone who doesn't instantly escape discomfort. That's real discipline, not hype. Not grit quotes, just trained non-reactivity. Chapter 5. You need a script for the moment you want to quit. Most people fail because they try to improvise in the moment. They feel urge, they negotiate, they bargain, they justify. Negotiation is where you lose. So you need a script, a default response that activates when the urge hits. Here's the simplest script that works. 1. Notice the urge. 2. Name it. 3. Delay it. 4. Return to the task. 5. Reward staying. That's the full skill. Let's make it concrete. When you feel the urge to check your phone, step 1, notice I'm feeling the urge to check. Step 2, name this is an escape urge. Step 3, delay I'm not doing it for 90 seconds. Step 4, return. Go back to the next tiny action. Read 1 paragraph. Write 1 sentence. Solve 1 step. Do 1 rep. Step 5, reward staying. At the end of the 90 seconds, mark a win. I stayed. That's it. You can even set a timer, because the point is not to be heroic. The point is to run the protocol. Over time, your brain starts to associate discomfort with staying, not escaping. Now, a key detail. You don't need to fight the urge. Fighting adds tension. Tension makes it harder. You just watch it like weather. It's there. It's uncomfortable. It peaks. It passes. Your job is not to make it disappear. Your job is to not obey it. That is discipline. So here's the full urge surfing protocol you can use today. The 2-minute urge surf. When discomfort hits, pause for 1 breath. Say, this is a wave. Set a timer for 2 minutes. For 2 minutes, keep working on the smallest next action. Allow the urge to exist without feeding it. When the timer ends, decide. Continue or take a planned break. Planned is important. Unplanned breaks are escapes. Planned breaks are recovery. This is the difference between discipline and burnout. And here's a cheat code. Make the next action tiny. Urges get stronger when tasks are vague. If your brain is facing a blurry monster like study chapter 7, it will run. If it's facing answer question 1, it can stay. Small targets reduce threat. Threat reduction reduces urge intensity. So if you keep quitting, the fix is often make the next action smaller and ride the wave. Now let's recap before your brain tries to escape this idea too. You quit early because your brain misreads discomfort as danger. Urges are automatic reward predictions, not your true desires. The first minutes of deep work are an adjustment phase that feels worse. Urges peak and fall if you don't feed them. And you need a script, not negotiation, for the moment you want to quit. This is great news because it means you don't need to become a different person overnight. You need to train 1 micro skill, staying through friction. If you can stay through the first wave, your focus stabilizes. If your focus stabilizes, your output increases. If your output increases, your confidence becomes evidence-based, and discipline stops feeling like a fight. It becomes a trained response. But here's the thing though, even if you can start and stay, you'll still struggle if your tasks are too vague. Vague tasks create vague resistance. That's why the next video is the final piece of the execution puzzle. How to make any task feel easier by defining the first step.